There and President Obama, the vast divide in this country between the haves and the have-nots has provoked protests around the country and raised questions about how to make America more equitable. Republicans and Democrats remain deadlocked in a battle over raising taxes versus cutting spending, and all the time that super committee deadline is fast approaching. So how did we come to this? A nation where income inequality is at its highest since the Great Depression. Joining me now is Tim Dickinson, political correspondent for Rolling Stone and the author of The Party of the Rich, which appears in the current edition of the magazine. Good afternoon, Tim.
Good afternoon.
In the article, you say that if you want to understand the disparity of wealth, you have to go back in time. So when did the current problem begin?
Well, I trace it back to 1997 when Congress, pushed by Newt Gingrich and the Republican revolutionaries, decoupled capital gains tax rates from labor tax rates. And so you get a huge tax cut for the wealthiest investor class, and they start to take leveraged bets. And so you have underlying trends that are making the wealthy wealthier, and then you're exacerbating that with this tax policy.
So what you're basically saying is that while people who had ordinary jobs and worked got taxed, those who earned income from money had their tax rates go down and down and down.
Right. So if you look at the top 400 taxpayers, for example, since 1997, their incomes have tripled, but their relative tax burden has fallen by 40%. And so you have, if you look at the graph of it, their income just keeps going up and up, but the amount that they actually pay in taxes is flatlined.
Incredible. The current Republican presidential hopefuls are all for flattening the tax code, as you know. But economists say this will only favor the rich. So is it your view that left to Rick Perry or Herman Cain, this disparity in wealth will only get worse?
Well, let's not leave Newt Gingrich out of that, too. He has the lowest flat tax of them all.
Thank you.
And so, no, in fact, I mean, that's what they can't finance these tax cuts with deficits anymore. So they're now trying to essentially finance them off the backs of the middle class. And so you're, in Herman Cain's case, I think raising taxes on 84% of Americans to give millionaires and billionaires a huge tax break. And it's the same pattern with Rick Perry and with Newt Gingrich. And even Mitt Romney says he loves the flat tax. So
yes. The president himself has repeatedly said that he wants to close tax loopholes and tax breaks. How much would the Treasury benefit if these loopholes were closed?
Well, I mean, this is the amazing thing. If all of them were closed, the Treasury would take in more than we take in from actual income taxes right now. So the amount of money the Treasury leaves on the table every year...
Hang on a second, Tim. You can't just throw that out there. Are you saying that if the tax loopholes were closed, there would be more revenue than the revenue that currently comes in from income tax?
That's exactly right. There's more of what they call tax expenditures, which is various favorable tax treatments for everything from capital gains to second mortgages. And if you closed every single one of those, the amount of income that would be taxed, Treasury would take in more money from the closure of those loopholes than we currently take in from income tax.
So if that's the answer, Tim, why won't they go with it?
Grover Norquist. There's been this anti-tax pledge, and everybody understands it. Well, we just won't raise taxes. But the second part of the pledge says we won't close any tax loopholes unless we can reinvest those savings immediately into lowering taxes, for generally wealthy people. And so you've got this pledge that has been signed by 98% of Republicans in the House and a very large number in the Senate that is blocking them from making rational decisions in terms of let's close a few of these loopholes to raise some revenue.
Tim Dickinson, political correspondent of Rolling Stone, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.